Are you ready, cameraman? All right, we're ready. Oh, you gonna turn that on for me?
Sure.
Let me get my recorder going here. So you can't blame me this time. It doesn't record. You saw that.
Don't touch it.
It says it's recording. All right. Welcome to Public Works Committee meeting on Tuesday, September 18, 2018 at 5:30 p.m. Call to order. Roll call, please.
Chair Pike.
Here.
Trustee Matz.
Here.
Trustee Zeitz.
Here.
And item number 2, approve the minutes from the August 21, 2018 Public Works meeting.
Move to approve the minutes from the August 21st, 2018 Public Works meeting.
And I'll second.
All right, any discussion? Any comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Item number 3 is comments from the floor, an opportunity for residents to make the committee aware of topics, issues, opportunities either on or not on today's agenda. And I think we see a couple people out here. Any comments? If
Jim, you have to step up there, Jim. That mic.
step up to that mic. Looks like that got moved,
That's if it's okay.
camera-wise.
They got new cameras in here, so.
It's fine.
Okay, good.
Jim Pico, I'm just a resident next door. I'm just coming to get information on the Highway 35 project, which is kind of in the planning situation, whatever. So I just come to get some information on the way here. So.
Did you have a concern that we can investigate? Because since it's not on our agenda, what we would do is take your concerns and then ask our engineer over here or whoever to try and address your concerns in the next meeting.
I was to the
Informational meeting?
information meeting the other night, and I mean, I got basically everything, that's going on. I just thought I'd come and see if we had any more information coming up along the way. So I don't have any big.
You have no concern about what you heard at the informational meeting?
No.
Okay.
It's pretty straightforward from where I sat. So
Yeah, I don't
I don't have any big issues on it. So
Okay, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you. One thing I'm hearing, Kevin, is the up and down off of 35. There are some of our driveways coming right off of 35 that may be a little steep.
that is one thing I have coming out of my lower driveway, coming down, onto the street. When you come down there with like a two-wheel trailer or whatever, the back of the trailer would drag
Sure.
the curb when you come out. I mean, I don't know if that's different heights or whatever it's going to be, but I heard that from residents farther up towards the village up that way too. They got deep driveway approaches.
I'm assuming that are they going to cut the top?
So basically, the sidewalk itself is, a lot of it's going to remain in place.
Okay, so
So that elevation isn't
That's
going
going
to
to
change.
stay the same, yeah.
yeah.
Yep. I mean, obviously, we're going to have to do some spot repairs for the services, the sewer and water laterals that we have to install as part of the project. The road itself, the width is going to basically stay the same. It's a matter of, are they going to raise the curb elevations, the profile? And we won't truly know that until they start.
I know that question was brought up the other day at the meeting, and
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if they were going to adjust the street, or I don't know how they do that either, but that was just
Yeah,
what
once
it
you
is.
start getting into the design part of it, I mean, they're in the real early stages now. It's more conceptual at this point.
Right.
But I know they're planning on having another public informational meeting.
I think there's going to be 2-3 of them before
Yeah.
it all gets done.
So then they'll be presenting like construction plans, profiles and stuff.
Right.
And then, I mean, you'll be able to specifically see in relationship to your house, kind of, what the profile and what the cross section is going to be and all that. But
So are they always going to do those for all communities together, or will they come up here to North Hudson and do one just answering North Hudson type questions? Or
well, what they did the last time is they held it down at the city of Hudson, but they tried having 2 separate time frames.
oh,
one just for the city of, and then another one for the village.
Okay.
Split it up in two different groups.
I attended with Jim and also
Okay.
there, and Wisconsin DOT did direct some of the questions towards you.
Yep.
I thought it went pretty good. I mean,
It was a very good meeting.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
I was there to catch up on some.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for your question. On to item number 3, which is snow removal. I guess I need a motion.
Go ahead.
I don't even know where we're at right now. Give me a second.
Snow removal contract discussion and possible recommendation.
Recommend to approve the updated snow removal contract with Zappa Brothers, Inc.
And I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion?
No.
The rate stayed the same
Mm-hmm.
as last year? Okay. So we went 1,800 over last year, just so you guys remember.
Thank
but
you.
We had a lot of
Yep.
snow in the spring.
Good.
We think we've got that number pretty close to what we're going to need. And so it's a spending decision. Pat? Not Pat.
Phil, Phil, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes.
Yes. Okay. Snow removal contract. I'm sorry, just a second. Snow removal contract has passed and that one now will run from when to when? The end of this year,
October to
October to
Spring.
October.
The spring, yeah.
October to October.
October to October. That's what I want to know.
Yep.
Okay, and it says that. I didn't look at the dates. Did
I
it
think
say
so.
that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
It's on there.
So, sir, the public comment thing is done. Are you saying you have a question about the snow removal? If you do, you need to go back up there.
Yeah.
Now, the only question I had about the snow removal, from where I said, looked to me like you done most of the snow plowing yourself last year.
We
Yep.
do a lot.
We've gone from using an outside contractor like Zappa, maybe more than 50%, to down to maybe what now? Would you say? 20?
Yeah, or less.
20% or less.
Being you brought Zap up into it, I was thought, well, I see you, because I know we bought a lot of big new equipment, and I see that, we've done the majority of our own plowing last year.
And that's
Yeah.
the intention.
So I just questioned
Oh, we use the outside contractors when we got too much.
major, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I was just checking.
Okay, thank you. All right, item number 4, ATV UTV ordinance discussion only. We've kept this one on here just to make sure it kept moving. I think we're going to hear all that we need to hear about that at the next board meeting, so we can skip this one in here. It's all going well. Item number 5,
Skip.
purchase of construction signs for public works, street maintenance crew discussion, and possible recommendation. Talked to Patrick before the meeting, and this is something he can actually pick off on his own budget when he needs these signs. So it's not something we need to do special as far as an agenda item goes. So we're dropping that one from the agenda and no further discussion. Item number 6, water maintenance discussion only. This is about the pipe. No, this is about a meeting that is yet to be held by Tim Zeiss, Patrick, and Melissa, just to look at that surcharge that we are getting on our North Hudson water bills. We're trying to make sure we understand what percentage it is and exactly what income slots it's hitting or expense slots it's hitting or offsetting on our budget. And then we want to take a closer look, because that was done in 1970, that formula was agreed upon between the village and Hudson, and we're thinking it's possible that it costs more to fix pipes now than it did in 1970. So we may be looking at the water commission, is it?
Correct.
Yeah, the water commission, and asking them, should you be increasing that percentage back to us? Now, every time water costs have gone up, that our surcharge gets the same percentage bump that they get. So there's been some increase since 1970, but we're concerned that, you know, the cost of the maintenance people that do the work and the cost of the materials has gone up enough that it's not really covering all of our costs. So that's coming up when Tim's ready. We're going to leave it on here until you really want to hit it. Then I've got some updates. Artisan North Development, Girard Development, number 7 and 8. Who wants to address that, Kevin or Patrick?
Yeah, I guess the Artisan North final lift of asphalt has been installed. So basically, the project is completed. I know Patrick and I have been working with XL Energy. There's a light at the end of the cul-de-sac that needs to be installed. They gave us a couple options. Basically went with the same decorative one that you have up in the Derrick subdivision up there. So
Really?
that's in the works. They're gonna
Aren't
get
those the
us-
ones that wore out sooner than they were supposed to?
A lot of the new subdivisions, a lot of them are going to the decorative ones.
Okay.
What was
So-
the other option was
Just
a ugly wood pole
wood
with that
pole with a
crane.
Like we got up and down the
overhead mask.
35? What's up and down 35 right now?
Yeah,
4th
I
Street?
mean, it really doesn't.
It's not pretty, but it does a job.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's in the works. They're getting us a price on that, and then that'll be forwarded off to the developer.
Okay, so for future on Artisan North and Girard, and where are we at with Girard? They're just moving along?
Yeah, so we got an update from them today, and they're looking at starting to do the clearing and grubbing of all
Okay.
the trees up there next week. And
Okay.
then the following week, they're looking at starting the foundations.
Okay. So that's moving.
Things are moving.
Will they have that thing half built or mostly built by Snowfly?
It's
Hard to
the
say.
buildings are probably going to be built over the.
And what happened
months.
with the storage bin? Did we ever agree to let them do that or not?
That's still in the works. That still needs to come in front of the Plan Commission.
Okay.
I know Melissa's been asking for some more information.
Yeah,
from
good.
them about an official request, and at
That's-
this time,
That's the main question I'm getting asked about that whole thing, those storage bins.
yeah, it's still in the works. They haven't truly come forth from the village to
Okay.
the village for a request yet.
So I am asking, just so you guys know, that Kevin's updates for building,
Yep.
unless they have sewer and water, and we have direct road, sewer, or water, and it directly impacts, that he moves those to the board meetings and he gives those updates there. Because he's responsible for those projects, right?
Yeah, I mean, I help out or assist. in
No,
that
I
part
was
of
told you're the one responsible for keeping them on track. If that's not true, go see Melissa.
it. Always willing to help out.
But maybe under either your comments on the board or administrator comments, somebody needs to give
Sure.
updates monthly about how those building projects are going, so they don't get lost like Derek's did.
Yep, we can definitely do that.
Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah.
All right, then item number 9, salt storage building. Patrick, update?
We have everything cleared off and we're ready for St. Croix County to come in and spread the class 5 and roll it. They're supposed to be here this week. I talked to Mike this morning and he was gonna touch base with me tomorrow to let me know if they were for sure gonna come. If not, it'll be next week, but we should still be within our
And as soon as St.
Time.
Croix's done with their part, are the materials already there to us?
No.
Or they bring the materials out when they build the building?
Yeah, and
Okay.
we have to we'll have to wait until they get that state approval for the plans to put the building up. And they
Okay.
have
What's the holdup on that?
there's no holdup. They just they have to have a meeting with the state, and it's they have to get put on a waiting list, I guess, to get in to do that. And I think the last thing I had heard was August 17th or October 17th.
Yeah, you have to call in and request a review date and depending on where they're at.
Did we do that?
Yeah,
They
They
did.
did that a long.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Long time
Structures
ago.
Unlimited. Yep,
So
they did
we're
it
still
right away.
waiting.
Yep.
That's the earliest date that they could get in.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they
November
couldn't.
or October.
October, yeah, that was the earliest they could get, so.
Yeah, so,
Well, you're staying on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can start making phone calls and bugging them if they don't
Mhm.
seem like you're getting, because
Mhm.
we got to get that up.
Yep, no, I agree with you.
This, the slab portion of it though can be completed before necessarily that building thing
Mm-hmm.
gets approved.
Yeah, you can get a foundation.
So we'd have a place to actually dump salt temporarily if we needed to,
No, we wouldn't do that.
over it.
huh? Without it being
No.
covered?
No, I'm not gonna do that.
All right. All right. Any other discussion or questions about salt
No,
shed?
good update.
All right. Item number 10, water main replacement under Lake Malibu, discussion and possible recommendation. On this one, I'm waiting for engineering to tell me what the cost difference is between, or if, I'm not even sure if we ruled out the dry pipe option yet, and then the connector from the dry pipe that was going to be necessary over to, what street? 7th.
Yep.
And so that cost option, and even is it an option that would work? And then where they want a 12-inch pipe under Malibu, running between North Hudson and Hudson, and that's to increase the water flow from our water towers.
Correct.
And we have at least one or two sections that are not 12-inch anyway. So putting the 12-inch under Malibu won't give them the full 12-inch flow until we do something on our side, at least one or two sections, right?
Lemon Street.
Just Lemon?
Just Lemon. Everything else is in place. Monroe, 7th Street.
Okay, so we're waiting on a quote from you on what it would take to do that last leg. Is that the leg that goes all the way to the tower then?
Yeah, that would be all the
That's
way.
the last leg.
Yep.
So it's really Lemon to,
So basically from Monroe up to where the water tower is, it's a 6-inch right now. And it's always been discussed whenever that street gets rebuilt that it would be upsized to a 12-inch main.
okay. And is it on the 5-year
Yeah.
capital?
Yeah, it's on the 5-year capital.
I was gonna say it's on
Yeah.
And we were planning to do that when? Was it where was it in the order of priority, you remember?
Well, we were gonna, I guess, the Lemon Street
Yeah.
project,
23.
2023 is where we have it right now.
Okay.
That kind of, I guess, gets into that number 12 item, but depending
Okay.
on if you want to merge them together,
Well, we can talk about that when we get down to 5-year.
okay.
But otherwise, we're just kind of keeping that on the agenda, guys, to keep it as a discussion item. But again, until we are ready to do that last leg
Right.
inside the village,
Not
it
gonna
makes no
benefit.
sense to do the
Right.
leg underneath Malibu at this point in time.
Agree.
Well, just some information that I provided, some additional stuff. I know there was discussion about, putting it on the bridge to look at that option. And actually, SEH has done that too, and there was some, kind of through their feasibility study for the city of Hudson. That's been provided. They looked at a couple different routes, and the recommended one that they have is basically going under the current alignment that sits out there right now. I actually reached out to Jeff Kern from the DOT, myself, just to see and confirm, with what SEH is recommending to what they are telling me, and kind of the same thing. You would have to have a pretty strong hardship for them to allow the pipe to be installed on the bridge.
Why?
Because
Going under a river, for God's sake, how hardship does it got to get?
to actually attach it to the bridge itself,
Why? Because I think it's too heavy, or
you would have to look at, somebody would, an engineer would have to look at the loading, what additional loading that would be added to the structure.
when
They'd
it's
have,
loaded?
when it's fully full and all that good stuff. You would have to go through that process. And then if there was ever a redeck that was done or the bridge had to be replaced, whatever additional costs that would be associated with
Having to dick around with the pipe, yeah.
So that would
Okay.
be at a local share, just like, with Highway 35. And they wouldn't necessarily grant you or allow you to reattach that if the bridge was replaced down the road.
You guys wanna let the dry pipe go?
It sounds slim and there's some repercussions.
But at least we can now answer that we looked at that.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
think so.
Okay.
Yep,
So-
definitely.
In the future, keep the dry out of it. And all we really need from you is what that final leg exactly is gonna cost. And by that final leg, obviously I'm talking about the pipe itself. The actual, I know the Lemon Street project was to include the pipe, is that right?
That was just
Increase the pipe size.
upsize the pipe.
Upsize it, right.
So basically back in, July, we put a cost associated with that.
Okay,
Roughly about 300,000 to actually install the pipe. And with the corporate limits being halfway in between,
yeah,
Lake Malibu.
yeah.
So 50-50 split, so it's around 150,000 that the village would have to ante up.
And the other 150 is,
City of Hudson.
no, that's the part that goes under?
Yep, goes underneath the lake.
Okay, but I'm asking you about that last leg.
Yeah, so for that, just for the water main portion of it, under Lemon Street, about 150,000 for that.
So,
And that's,
just so you guys get that, that's 300 grand
Oh, yeah.
to get that, to get that pipe really to work going under the Malibu.
it'll still function.
Right now it's functioning.
Yeah, it's just, obviously if you're gonna replace the pipe, 4-inch, there's a lot of friction loss that goes along with that. It's been in there since 1934, so
By friction loss, you mean inside the pipe itself?
Yep, when you get the flow characteristics in a smaller diameter pipe, you're gonna obviously get less flow out of it.
Right. But what are they flowing into? At the end of the day, when these hit a fire hydrant, what's the size
Well,
of the
obviously,
hose that they're sticking on the end of that fire hydrant? 4-inch?
so they have two 2.5s and they have a 4-inch pumper, and the pumper truck actually can suck water out of the system. They don't want to take it below 20 psi.
So when they're sucking the water, they're sucking it into the pumper,
Yep.
and then the pumper into what? Whatever size hose you want?
Firefighting or
But it's still a 4-inch hose.
Yeah, but multiples. So you're like,
Oh, you're doing multiple hoses from one hydrant.
You can suck as much water out of the system, but they don't want to take it below 20 psi.
what's our PSI in the village right now? Is it 70-ish or?
It all depends on elevation wise, and it's related to, the water tower elevation, but 70, 80. Static,
I was gonna say, yeah,
but
it's about that.
when
Some
you
areas are
actually
50.
flow it, then it actually drops down, and it's all dependent on how big the mains are and stuff.
Did we have a fire? A couple days ago, I heard all the fire trucks running.
They had one out in the town of Hudson.
Oh, it was in town of Hudson? Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So, and Melissa just wanted me to bring up too that I think there was some question about funding, especially with the Highway 35 project. That could be included, because you're probably going to have to actually go out and get a bond for that work, because it's quite costly, probably over $1 million.
Well, yeah, for the 35 project itself. Is she saying that there might be some funding available for us to do the bridge portion?
She's just saying that it could be lumped into, the one bond and try to take advantage of the better cost per se.
But Lemon Street wouldn't be part of that, though, would it?
Well, we might as well. Why wouldn't we?
Yeah, you wouldn't, because when you look at the Lemon Street project, it's not only the water main, it's going to be the sewer, it's going to be the street.
So why wouldn't we, if we're going to go after a big bond, why wouldn't we do it all at once?
That's something you can definitely look at. It's just.
And how do we get that answer? That's you, right?
Sure.
Ask her,
Thanks, Patrick.
just ask her how she wants to do it.
Yeah.
Should we bump that Lemon Street project up right around whenever we would get the funds to do the 2021-35 project. That's what I want to know. Because then we could put this water main replacement under Malibu on hold until then,
No.
right?
Yeah,
Right.
I think you want to probably keep it separate of the Highway 35 project because the directional drilling itself is kind of a specialty thing. You know, it's like
But
one sub.
if we're going to get the money all at once, why would you keep it separate?
I think you're going to see a better cost savings by trying to keep it out of the DOT project.
Oh, I wasn't thinking.
Understand that,
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking of putting it in the DOT,
Yeah.
but we could actually have whoever's doing the drilling thing
Mhm.
working alongside, couldn't we? I mean, about the same time frame.
And are we going to be able the ones to dictate that schedule if Hudson's involved? Are they just going to say, "Oh, we'll do it whenever you guys are ready"?
Well, all we're doing is getting it over their side, and they can do what they want with it, right? Kind of like they do at the big Riverside lift station right now. Okay, anything else on that?
That's, yeah, I think that's all.
That's
I
good to
have.
know. That was good info.
Okay. Sounds
You guys
good.
got anything else for him?
No.
All right. Bobcat Exchange, item number 11. Bobcat Exchange, discussion and possible recommendation. Patrick.
So I checked into exchanging the Bobcat now, or this year. Right now, the Bobcat that we have, if we were to exchange that for a new model, would be $4,512.13. The reason this is high.
Let me get a motion up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I move to exchange our current Bobcat for a new model at Tri-State Bobcat with the price not to exceed the $5,600.
Second.
Okay, now we're open for discussion. You guys, I think we talked a little about
We know
this.
about this. Yeah.
Okay, so basically, for those of you watching, what we're trying to do is keep that leased Bobcat on a yearly schedule. And right now, we're into about 18 months.
Yep.
And we want that lease schedule to renew right about now,
Yeah.
each year. Because then we're done with our summer use and we're ready for its use in the winter, which we use it quite a bit in the winter, so.
Yep.
So that's what this is about. So I don't know where those funds are coming from.
There was a separate fund, and I can't recall.
There used to be a line item that we had on this. I'm not sure.
It was for capital equipment, I believe.
Okay, so we're gonna push it through, or I would like to push it through if you guys are okay with it, and then see how finance handles it in our October meeting.
Right.
Any other discussion about it? Any other comments about it?
No, I guess the stuff in the issue statement is that we've had it for 12 months now, and I know the trade-in goes off them. They charge us $10 to $12 an hour, or per hour is how they do the trade-in value, and right now we're at pretty close to 400 hours, so that's why the price is high. I did figure it out. If we did it every 12 months, we'd have approximately 300 hours on it, just going by what we have on it now. So it would cost us $3,000 to $3,500 a year to do it. Adam, Tri-State Bobcat is telling me that it would be closer to 25, but I wonder about that. But so I'm just.
Well, we were used to spending between 2,500 and $4,000. From the first time I saw this exchange, it was closer to $4,000, but it was because we had it longer. Again.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's when I started pushing Mark to get it going every year, and then you came along, and now we're just trying to get it back on that track. And he got us to go to Bobcat instead of what was the other one? New Holland.
It was over New Holland, just so that we're not the New Holland. They used to have the same program as this, and they just don't have it anymore. So that's why there was the price discrepancy and stuff. So,
So this should be something that's just an annual thing that we're approving to just renew the lease for the next year, and there's this amount of money that we're spending because we have this many hours on it.
Right.
And we're hoping to keep maintenance down that way, like we're not having to replace tires and stuff like that. We may actually end up with a little cost of the tires this time because we're like 18 months out and 400 hours in. What was the other thing?
I did it.
Attachments?
I haven't,
I asked him if he can get it ready to go ahead for the board or the finance committee to show these couple of attachments that he's thinking he'd like to get. Because if we do this, this is a CapEx expense. We don't want to separate the attachments from the Bobcat itself. So if we get a brush on the front of that thing, we'd want to get them at the same time. And then it would be something that we'd renew also each year.
So we would get a new attachment with the new Bobcat every year
That way it's a CapEx expense as one. Because
that depreciates over 1 year that we spend annually.
I don't know, but
Well-
she wanted it capped.
So Tri-State would fit?
I don't know if we'd want to put an attachment on it every year.
Right, that's
That's,
what I'm wondering.
yeah, I don't think, I mean, if we exchange the Bobcat every year, what I was saying is there's a few other attachments that would be beneficial to us.
Yeah.
I mean, not.
You're saying buy the attachments and hope.
Yeah, because that'd be something that we'd keep.
Okay.
Because like the brush, everything is
Okay.
replaceable on
What do
it.
you guys think?
Hard to believe Tri-State would fit it with a brush every year.
No, they won't. I had mentioned that we could get a gutter brush
Right.
for the sweeper, so
I
that's,
understand the purpose of it, yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, just the Bobcat.
Take out the skating rink, really quick and.
So
Okay.
This motion does not include those activities?
No.
But that'll be down the
No,
road. Yeah,
no.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, if that's the case, then we would keep them as expense items.
Right, exactly.
Okay. And they can be addressed at another time. All right.
Yep.
Any other discussion? All right. This is a spending item.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Item number, so that's approved. Item number 12, catch basin repairs, discussion and possible recommendation. Patrick.
Sorry about that. We had we have 3 catch basins that have failed, and 1 storm sewer doghouse that has a failure. We have $10,000 in that account. I would like to have Everlast Rehab come in and repair those before we have sinkholes, because what happens is they crumble inside, and then people's yards start sinking, and then we have a real mess, and then they plug up the storm sewers and stuff. So I got 1 bid from Everlast Rehab. They've also done some work. They did our flex ceiling this year, and they rebuilt catch basin down on Cedar and Michelson. So I thought they did a real good job, and they're seem to be reasonably priced. There aren't many people that do this type of work. They completely rebuild them, all new cement, and they prime it and flex seal everything. I know they're doing a lot of work over in the cities and stuff too, so I checked on them. So there's some other municipalities that are using them.
Okay.
So I guess I would just I'd like to fix these before winter so we can move on to next year and try and get, the
Do we
ones
have
that
the money in the budget?
failed. Yes.
I guess I got nothing discussion-wise, but
Tim, anything
No,
else?
no, I'm fine with this.
Do you know this company?
I have not worked with them.
But we're also having difficulties getting people to bid these smaller projects, right?
Yeah, somewhat. It's like I said, I've said it before. Everybody's got more work than what they can do. So
Okay. Did we get a motion on
Oh, we
this?
have-
Oh, sorry. Give me a motion.
I recommend to approve having Everlast Rehab repair all storm sewer failures with price not to exceed $7,300. Expenses to come from storm sewer fund.
I'll second that.
All right, spending issue, Tim?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. And yes for me. It's passed. Chair update, I have nothing new. Engineering report. Do you have anything this time? Are you going to tell me that same story that you told me last time? I don't got anything.
Actually, you had asked for
Oh, yes.
some of the geogrid stuff. And so we have some photos and stuff that we provided here. So basically, the grid system is what ties back into the slope. And that is laid in between the blocks. So the wall kind of acts all monolithic, so it doesn't want to slide out.
So the way you got this one here, you've got some rolled out and some rolled up, so you would put dirt in
Yep.
and then you'd roll the next roll out?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And then typically there's like a foot of like wash stone that's put on the backside for drainage because you don't want to have
Sure.
water pressure build up.
And it can run right through the grid too then?
Yep. Run through the grid, and then you see at the bottom down there's a drain tile.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
those,
This, you mean this?
Yep.
This little pipe thing?
Yep.
Okay.
so that's daylighted to open grade so that the water can actually
Get out of there.
Yeah.
So we don't get a lot of water, necessarily water pressure build up on these walls?
Yep.
Okay.
Because that'll typically blow them right out if you end up,
Okay.
if you get into a scenario like that. So,
All right. Any questions for him?
No,
Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Awesome.
oh, that's it.
That's it? Okay. Director's report, number 16, Patrick.
The only things I really have to report, I guess, are that we're still working on our valve turning, exercising all the valves in the village. So you'll see all the gate valves in the street with blue paint on them. That's because we're marking them off as we go. And then we've been doing quite a few projects in the parks, doing a lot of wood chipping. We got some extra soil from clearing off our pad for the salt shed, so we kind of been flattening out, and we're gonna
Making
do
new
some,
piles, are we?
Well,
or
no, we
flattening out?
we're filling, we're
Okay.
making stuff level again.
Nice.
We're planting some grass.
Really?
Yeah.
Good.
So both Tom and Joe have been working on that and doing a good job. I think Chief Jansen was one of the first ones that we had done. They mulched around all the trees and rocks and everything else up there. So if you get a chance, check it out and see what you think.
Okay.
And then I guess I already went over that the salt shed we got that all squared away. We removed some posts from the fence, so we just roll the fence back, and then we have it chained and locked at night. So
Until the building's done.
until the building's done.
Okay.
So
Chief's okay with all that? Okay. Anything else?
no, that's it.
Okay. Any questions for Patrick?
No, none.
All right. Item 17, Public Works Capital Equipment Planning discussion only. Anybody have anything else that they want to buy or bring forward? Not counting engineering? All right. Item number 18, Public Works Committee future goals and agenda items. Do we have any other items we need to have on the next agenda that, other than what's here? Yes.
I have a question, Brian. Were you guys gonna talk about the 5-year?
You missed that, yeah.
Did I miss that one?
Yep, 13.
Oh, yes. Okay, we'll come back to that.
Okay.
Any other future goal or agenda items? No?
No.
All right, back to 13, 5-year capital improvement plan discussion, possible recommendations. We call that SIP. Anything new on that?
Yeah, so Patrick and I revisited this last month here, and so we'll just go through this quickly because I know we talked about St. Croix Street. You did get some LRIP funding for that, and basically that's just a mill and overlay. So I think you guys were looking at moving
That's
that.
which street? St. Croix?
Yeah, St. Croix from 3rd to 7th.
Yeah, the idea was to do that next year, right?
Yep.
That's the one that we're doing. Okay.
And then, so 2020, since you guys are having some issues up on 8th Street with some water main breaks,
Yeah.
kind of move that up in the list per se. So that would be from Michelson to Monroe, and that is in the blue color, shown
Okay.
on the map.
So that's the area we've had the breaks. What about on either end of it on the other side? How are the pipes any different? Or is it the same pipes? Same age?
Be the same age.
They're the same
along
age,
That whole corridor.
And so that pipe, well, actually, that's the end is, what street is that? Monroe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's nothing going south of that on that particular 8th Street, right? There's no further 8th Street.
Correct.
Okay, so that's good going that way, but what about going to the north? Does 8th Street continue right there? This is kind of,
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does go all the way up to.
it goes up to what?
Summer Street.
Okay, and so I guess my question is, why is it better from Michelson, is that, or?
Yeah, Michelson to
Yeah,
Summers.
Michelson
Could
to
be the
Summer.
soil, huh?
Could be the soil, you know,
Yeah.
But your estimation is it's the same pipe?
probably installed at different time period, but
Oh,
this is the area that you've had, what, three different
three
breaks?
different breaks,
Yeah.
okay. All right, I'm just trying to make sure we're covering what we need. I mean, I hate to do them in too small a sections,
Right.
but you guys know about these 3 breaks we've had, and those are a pain when we have a water main break.
Correct.
Mhm.
Okay, so that you're planning on moving up a year?
We moved it,
2020.
yeah, to
To
2020.
2020.
And this
Okay.
is a fluid document. I mean,
Okay.
this is something that you look at every year.
All
It's
right,
not necessarily that this is kind of gospel per se, but it's just to have something for discussion purposes.
okay, anything else?
So 6th Street, 2021, Highway 35. The following year, 2022, Wisconsin Street, that's the STP funding that you received for that project. And then we moved the Lemon Street project out to 2023. And a lot of that, you know, you've had some issues with roots in the sewer main.
Yep,
And then we talked about the water main upsizing for the, you know, the main loop from the water tower down to
Okay.
the city of Hudson. And then
so we can tell Hudson we've got it on our SIP.
CIP.
Can you put question marks out here next to the retaining walls? You know, as far as date, where the date is, question. Just,
Yep. Yep, we just included that in 2020. That's something that we're, you know, monitoring.
and the color, oh, okay, so you kind of included in the Lemon Street?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so the little red lines down here,
Yep.
those are our main problems?
Yep. That's where the, you know, we're monitoring on a yearly basis.
Is there any other retaining walls right in there? I thought there was another one, a big one.
Yeah, there's one. Well, we do have a new one on Helen Street when we.
That's newer?
Yeah.
That's the one I'm thinking of. That's a big one too?
That's a big one.
Yeah.
That was done as part of the DOT project back in 2000, 2002. So, and that one's in,
The 2. Yeah, that one's in good shape.
yeah, very good shape.
Okay.
So, and then the second page just gives you an idea of, you know, anticipated costs, scoping estimates way on the right-hand side. St. Croix Street around 70,000, 8th Street, about 600,000 for that. 6th Street, that's a lot of the Highway 35. You know, the utilities alone is a little over $1 million, but a lot of that's going to be paid by the DOT.
Right.
Wisconsin Street, about a $535,000 project, and again, you got some funding for that, STP Urban. And then Lemon Street, big project, a little over $1 million. And then Riverside Drive, 240 for the walls.
Now, is that a brand new wall, or is that some newfangled way that you're gonna make that wall last longer?
Nope, that would be a brand new wall.
So how do they do, all right, so how do they do that? Well, I guess I can ask you after the meeting. I'm curious, do they
Sure.
take a section down, put a section back up before it falls, or, you know, how do you?
They would actually just remove the entire wall out and then cut it back slope-wise so they can get the geogrid and all that
Oh.
good stuff in.
Okay.
Yep.
So they literally have to pull the old wall down and grade it and,
Mhm.
okay.
And rebuild from scratch.
All right. Okay, we do, and so Village, we try and keep up on these capital improvement projects, A, to let you know, and B, because we want to be proactive before walls fall down, streets fall apart, water mains break, etc. So that's what our capital improvement project plan's about. Any other comments, questions?
No comments.
Nothing?
All right, that takes me down to item 19. We're adjourned
Thank you.
at 6:15. 6:14 on my Apple.